Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
With the ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, with ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, with ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, with ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, with ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
with the ride, get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride, focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it. Ride,
Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
With Robin, just get noticed. With Robin.
Hi everybody, this is your girl Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward Robin Show. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia today, here on this beautiful sunshiny afternoon, and we are here at the 400 Galleria Parkway at the Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I'm so excited. I've got two amazing guests that are going to be on my show today, and they have a lot in common, and I cannot wait to dig in. But first things first, we're going to talk about our sponsors, and I'm going to review them with you. I would like to mention Heart of the Carolinas. Heart of the Carolinas is a home care company. It's based out of Malden, South Carolina, with the owners of Frank Henderson and Andre Harrison. They're childhood friends, and they decided they wanted to open up a business because they cared about the seniors in their community. They are known statewide, all over South Carolina, and what they do is they have workers that go into the homes to give a little bit of TLC to people that are in need of services, such as they may need help with giving a bath, they may need help with going to the doctor, or just some of that TLC of spending special time, going shopping with them, and just socializing. So if you're interested in those services for maybe a grandmother, a mother, a grandpa, somebody, they would love to be able to come in and do a one-on-one consultation with you and talk about how they can meet your needs. You can reach them at 864-990-4345, and that is Heart of the Carolinas. My next sponsors are the magazines that I write for. One is Miss Tangi Roseborough. She's with Pain to Purpose. I love her. I've been writing for her for several years. I write the Focus Forward Robin articles as well as the Tasteful Tips and Trips food blogs. And then also Miss Teresa B. Howell with Heat Seekers magazine. I'm a food blogger for there, and sometimes occasionally I write articles for her as well. These two magazines are magazines you want to get connected to. You want to get publicized in these magazines, and if you're wanting to know more about it, you can reach out on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, to Tangi Roseborough or either Teresa B. Howell. They also do interviews as well, so you could be able to get connected with them. Another sponsor that I have is with Dr. John Williams with Come On In Incorporated. He's based out of Colorado, and he is a very good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. He's taken me under his wing, and we're very close. Him and his wife, Brenda Williams, they're pretty amazing. And what we do is we go out into the communities of South Carolina and Colorado, and we also give back to other countries such as Africa and India as humanitarians, and we give to those that are in need. And so if you would love to partner with us, or you'd love to have a connection, or make a donation, make sure you reach out to Dr. John Williams or myself to represent with Come On In Incorporated. Also, on a little attachment to Come On In Incorporated, I'm with the Extraordinary People Awards, which is, when I say extraordinary, most people say extraordinary, but I am extraordinary because I'm no just ordinary person, and the people that I'm connected to, they're no ordinary people either. So with that being said, there is an awards that's coming up September the 25th, which will be live in Atlanta, Georgia. Your girl is going to be the co-host with Dr. John Williams, and we are going to be standing in front of the camera giving out awards. It is limited seating here in the studios in Atlanta. If you look at the flyer, you'll get the address. I will be promoting it all week, all month, all year long until September the 25th. If there's someone that you would like to nominate that you feel that is extraordinary, whether it's somebody in media, maybe it's an actress, a film producer, a pastor, somebody, go to their website, theextraordinarypeoples.com, and check it out and get more information about it. Or like I said, reach out to myself or Dr. John Williams. Also with that, I am being recognized as the Woman of the Year. So that's not just as the co-host. I'm very, very excited that I was nominated to receive that. So that's pretty cool. I have another sponsor, is the World Women Conference and Awards. It's based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's with Miss Lakeisha James. She's the chapter leader. And Wanda D. Hollis, she is over the media department. I'm part of the publicity team. So we post and do events yearly sometimes quarterly, and we meet up with people, we do networking, and we try to build community together with other entrepreneurs. And it's not just for women, it's for men as well. So make sure if you're interested in being a part of our team, I would love to connect with you. You can reach out to me or one of the ladies that I've mentioned also. All right, and my last sponsor, which I'm very, very proud of, is Mr. Larry Durr. He is my client out of Baltimore, Maryland. I'm his public relations agent, and he is with Guns and Grams Productions. He has written this movie called Guns and Grams, and we're on tour right now. We have been to New York, we've been to Atlanta, we've been to Baltimore, we've been to New Jersey, and we're going to Hollywood on July the 9th. We'll be showing at the AMC theaters in Hollywood. I'm so excited to be there on the red carpet doing interviews and meeting people. And so if you would like to get connected, know more information about this company, Guns and Grams Productions, or if you would like to have Larry become a performer, an actor in any of your productions, or if you'd like to be a part of any of his series that he's doing. He's working on some projects right now. And he doesn't just do the Guns and Grams gangster's life. He's got horror, he's got comedy, he's doing a lot of different things. So make sure you connect with your girl, Robin Shockley. If you're interested in doing any interviews with him, you can reach me at booking@robinshockley.com. So, one more, I almost forgot about this, Mr. Leon Bellamy. If you heard the song when you came in, Get Focused Forward with Robin, he is actually my PR manager, but he also wrote that song, and he did it, and he is a musician. He's a jack of all trades. That's why he's called Insight Guru, and he does a little bit of everything. So if you're interested in him writing music for your show or writing music for something that you could be working on, a project, make sure you reach out to Leon Bellamy or reach out to me, and I can get you connected to him. All right? One more thing, the Focus Forward with Robin on the go. If you look at the flyer here, you see me on the red carpet. I do a lot of hostings for red carpets. I do a lot of writings, as you saw, for magazines. So if you're interested in me coming out to do a hosting of your show, of your movie premiere, of your event, your play, or something, make sure you reach out to me. I love to travel. I travel all over the country, wherever is needed, and I'm your girl. I'm your go-to girl for what you need to get exposure on social media. All right, enough of the sponsors. I'm so excited to dig into my guest today. My first guest that I'm going to have come up is going to be the Ron Godfrey, and I'm so excited. We're going to talk to him, find about his Pit to Purpose story, what's going on in his life today, and how he got to this position of where he is today. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see, watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see, watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Robin. Focused, get noticed, move forward, with Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see, watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Focus 4 with Robin show. I'm so excited to dig into the answers and questions for my first guest. I have the Ron Godfrey in the room.
Wow.
Look at this.
Wow, look at this.
Look at this. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Me and Ron go back a few years, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yes. We met. You were actually in a play, and I remember... Was it Nicole Miller's play?
Nicole Miller's.
Nicole Miller's play, and I remember we did like a little brief interview. But before that, I remember I met you officially in person at the Atlanta Actors Awards.
Yes.
And
yes,
I remember I was walking in, I was frustrated because something had happened, I can't remember, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my girl boss pants back on, I'm gonna get in there, and then all of a sudden I hear a man calling my name, Robin Shockley, Robin Shockley, and I look and I'm like, and you had that gorgeous big smile on your face. And I'm like,
You're trying to
Ron,
make me blush.
you don't blush, Ron. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Ron Godfrey. And so, I mean, and the rest is history.
Yep.
Yes,
it is.
because we have actually done some projects together.
Yes, we have.
Which is
Yes, we
really
have.
cool, really,
Yep.
really cool. And
Who would have thought, right?
who would have thought? And actually, I'm going to give you some credit because my acting career, you know, I'm very minimum compared to you and my other guests. But, you know, you actually helped me feel comfortable in my skin because I was very nervous about acting.
I remember.
And you remember that? And you
Yeah.
said, Robin, it's just me. It's just me. I'm your friend Ron. It's just me. You know, you don't have to be nervous. And so when that happened, it's just like, okay, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good to go now.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
There you go.
So, well, Ron, let's talk. We know that you're an actor, but I want to know a little bit who you are today because we're going to dig in to find out who you were before to get to where you are today.
Wow.
So
That's
tell
a
us
lot
who
of
you
digging.
are today.
Who I am today. I am Ron Godfrey, actor, author, entrepreneur. I'm now the CEO of my own company, which is Grind and Conquer Activewear. I'm very proud of that. It was a long time coming.
Yes.
And I went through a lot of obstacles to get to this point, but I didn't stop.
Yes.
And so now here I am. I'm soaring, and I thank God. You know.
Yes. So you're doing all this today, which is amazing. You are on the go. You travel just as much as I do.
Yeah. Ron on the go.
Yeah, Ron on the go and Robin on the go. I mean, because you are like on the road all the time because you're always doing lives on the road. You copycatting me.
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like you.
You trying to be like me? Okay. All right. I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. But, however, you know, Ron, on a serious note, you wrote a book recently, Crying Out in the Dark.
Right.
So where did that title come from, Crying Out in the Dark?
Crying Out in the Dark came from my experiences dealing with depression, anxiety, and everything like that. And there were times in my life where I was crying out for help, and it was like no one could hear or see that I was doing that. And it was like crying out in the dark, you know, complete darkness to where, you know, you're in this field, total darkness, nobody's there to hear you, you're stuck by yourself. So that's where it came from.
You as a man, that's a statement itself because
Yeah.
man, you know, they're taught to keep this guard up, to be protective and to be bold and to be bad, you know, and not to have emotions. And so you were fighting depression, and I read pieces of your book. And you share some really deep stuff, you know, about when your mother went through the divorce and the things that you went through as a child and then, you know, as a teenager and then with your family and everything. And so can you elaborate on some of the things that caused you to fall into depression state?
Well, without giving too much information for the sake of those that has not read the book yet, I went through a lot of things in my childhood. A lot of, you know, dealings with where my body was awakened, should I say, at a very early age, at the hands of, you know, adults that were trusted, you know, to take care of me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then to fast forward, you know, I dealt with a lot of rejection, and that contributed to a lot of my depression.
Yes.
So, and then, you know, I had, you know, the suicidal thoughts and different things of that nature, but I overcame all of that.
So how did you get to a point of overcoming that? And what was the age that it ended?
Wow. Well, put it like this. Everything started when I was around the age of 5.
Wow.
And I would say in my adult years is when it ended. You know, within the past, I guess, 10 years.
Yes.
And how I overcame it was I was able to talk it out.
Okay.
I didn't go to counseling. I didn't, take medicine or anything like that. I was able to just release it by talking about it. And then when I went to write the book,
Yeah.
even though it brought back a lot of those, a lot of that darkness, it still was, very, very therapeutic.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that helped me a lot.
Wow, wow. So when you began to write the book, it became therapeutic. That's what helped me too. That helped me with my healing when I wrote my first book as well. So with all that being said, you decided to go through some transitions in your life, because you've been married, you have children, you have beautiful children, by the way. You're always giving, I love it because you're always giving shouts outs to your children on social media, and that's the best kind of dad that you could be.
Shout out to y'all right now while we think about it.
Shout out to the kiddos. Shout out to all the kiddos. But, with that being said, so how have you been able to help your children, maybe understand some of the things maybe you've been through, that way them as small children, because you have small children and adult children, to help them to know to go forward and to be aware of the signs and things that happen with depression and rejection and all that. Because I'm sure because of what you've been through as a child, you overpower yourself. Because I went through some things in my personal stuff. So when my kids were born, I overpowered them with that affection and that love because I didn't want them to feel any type of rejection and stuff, So how have you been able to help with that?
Actually, it's been quite challenging, to be honest with you. But as time went on, I would sit down and talk to like my 24-year-old and my 18-year-old when they would come to me with questions or whatever. I would say, hey, this is how I handled this. I understand where you're at because I was there. Then I would go through, a little bit of what I went through, and like that, because I didn't want to open up too much. Because they're already going through. And my job at that point is to uplift them. You know what I mean? So that's how I handle
And you
that.
make it relatable. That's so important for this younger generation. They need to know that their parents can be relatable.
Exactly.
That, because I remember when my mother started telling me some of the things that she went through and her experiences, because I thought my mom was perfect. I thought she was a saint. And then I started hearing her story about, as a matter of fact, every year I'm hearing something different. And I'm like, wow, it's encouraging to me instead of me being shocked and surprised or down or whatever. It's like, wow, my mom is human. She's not like this, just the superwoman, but she's human and she can be relatable. So I feel like if I need to go to her and talk to her, I feel like I can do that. And children today should be able to be at a place with that. So it's very important, do you agree, to be transparent and talk about your issues, talk about the things that you've been through, and to be able to share it with people and be public.
Oh yeah, that's very important. Now I've been able to talk to my mother more than anybody else.
Your mom's precious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because she's able to understand where I'm coming from because she's experienced some of the things as well. And so being able to talk to her and listening to her comfort me and the things that she would, the advice that she would give me, it's been very, very helpful.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so good. So Ron, with this book, you're about to go on tour.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about this tour you're going on with Crying Out in the Dark.
I'm excited about putting this tour together. As a matter of fact, I just solidified another location, which will be Chicago.
Okay.
And I'm excited about that.
Chicago is a beautiful place.
Yes. My first stop will be Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I'll be going to Augusta, Georgia, and then we're going to Washington, D.C., and I got other places that's coming into play, and I'm very excited about it because one thing about it, a lot of men, and especially black men, they're not too open to talk about, their mental health and depression, all that kind of stuff. So I want to be an icebreaker for them and let them know, hey, it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's okay to talk about it, write about it, whatever like that.
Well, I have to share a brief story with you.
Okay.
I was flying to Hollywood. I think it was when I was flying to Hollywood. Yes, I was flying to Hollywood a couple of months ago, and I was on the plane, and I was sandwiched in the very back row between these two men. One was a white man who, I think he was a doctor, and he had a family and everything. And another one was a rapper guy who's a very well-known rapper. And I was sandwiched in between both of them. So I'm like doing this. Well, I had your book out. So something happened. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was God or what. I had your book out, and then, of course, you know me. I talk to everybody. I don't mean a stranger. I shared your book with these guys. I taught the whole flight about you and your book.
Wow.
That whole flight that I was on with them.
Wow.
Yes, and they were so impressed because it helped encourage them to know that there was another man. So you know what? You should pay me some money for doing that. I was being your PR girl,
Wow, okay.
but no, seriously. But they were so encouraged because it was two different men from two different generations,
Right.
you know, and two different cultures, but they both dealt with the same issues, and that is understanding it's okay to be a man and being real and to share your emotions and your feelings and don't feel like you have to keep your guard up all the time.
That's right.
Because there are women out there, honestly, and I've been able to understand men more because I have men that I mentor and young youth that I mentor, and I'm understanding about them and the things that they go through. And so it's very important to be able to know that there are women that are standing behind you. There are women that are supporting you. The women, you know, the right kind of women, that they're not going to throw it up in your face,
Right.
and they're not going to sit here and say and use your past against you. That happens a lot where
Yes, it
people
does.
do that.
It does.
That happens especially in relationships where the men or the women, they take whatever's going on in the relationship and they'll bring up something that happened a long time ago and try to use it against
I'm a witness
you.
of that.
Yeah.
I'm a witness
So
of
how
that.
how have you coped with that when that's happened?
To be honest with you, just 100% honest with you, when that happened, I didn't say anything else. I
Okay.
didn't share any more information because that told me that I could not trust you with my information, not even with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I shared, very valuable information with you, and you take that and use it as a weapon against me,
Yes.
not knowing or having any kind of idea of where that might put me mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could send me over the edge, and you
Yeah.
didn't know it. So, but it didn't happen like that. But,
Yes.
I shut down after that.
Yeah, and that's what we don't want to happen.
Right.
Because when you shut down, that's when you let these emotions
up.
builds up. There's anger, bitterness, and all rejection all over again, and you learn not to ever trust again.
Yep.
And I've walked through that as well. And so we have to get over the hump. We have to choose to focus forward and not focus on what's behind, but focus on what's forward, and what's to come. So,
Right.
oh my gosh, this is so good. So also, Ryan, with you acting, tell us a little bit about what you've done in the actors world,
Oh, wow.
because you've only been an actor how long?
Less than 10 years.
Less than 10 years, and you've accomplished a lot. Tell us some of
Yes.
the projects you've worked on.
I've worked on BET American Soul. I've worked on the Medea's Family Funeral. I've done True You, Kitchen Talk. I've been on The Bridge with Brandon Bias. My latest accomplishments, I just did a series called Covenant with Kay Singleton, and that's going to be on the AMC network.
Okay.
And I just got booked for a project that's going to be on HBO Max.
All right,
So,
now
yeah,
that's
that's
amazing.
huge. That's huge,
That is
yes.
really huge. You've really taken off in your actor's career. And I remember last year when we had talked, that was one of the things you said. You said, just stay tuned, Robin. I'm about to take off. And it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like every time I turn around, something big is
Well,
happening.
my tagline is brace yourself.
It is.
Brace
So
yourself.
what does brace yourself mean?
Just brace yourself for my next move,
Brace yourself.
because I'm on the move.
You're on the move. You're on the go. Ron on the go.
Right on the go.
Ron on the go.
So-
I love it. I love it. Ron, this has been so great to have you on here. People want to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Tell us how they can get in touch with you.
Instagram, I am Ron Godfrey. That's Instagram. Is I am Ron Godfrey. And on Facebook, Ron Godfrey. And also my website is rongodfrey.com.
Okay. And what do you have on your website?
On my website, I have Grind and Conquer, my Grind and Conquer apparel. Also, if you want an autographed copy of my book, you just go to my website and order it, and I will personally sign it. It will not be stamped. I promise you. It will be signed, and I will personally deliver it to you. Well, not deliver it. I'll send it to you. I'm
You'll
sorry.
send it.
Let me
Unless
change
you're in
that.
the area.
Let me change
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'll send it to you. Okay,
Yeah.
I won't deliver it. But
Yeah,
if
because your book, honestly, your book has actually reached, what's it in, England?
yes,
Yes.
my book is in England.
Yes.
It is.
So your book is worldwide now.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's a blessing.
amazing. It
And I'm
is.
humbled by that.
Yeah, so I encourage people to tap in to knowing more about the Ron Godfrey. I know him as a personal friend. He's an amazing guy, but you need to get to know him. You need to read his book. You need to follow him on social media. He is all over the place. He's making great moves. He's doing great things, and he is on the rise for more greatness and more things to come in his life. And I'm so proud. So
Thank you.
I'm just grateful that, we could get you in the room today, that you were here convenient. I know you were doing some stuff here already this weekend, and I was like, you know what, let's get him in this room so he can be on the Focus Forward Robin show.
And I'm here.
And you're
Thankfully.
here. Yes. So if you could stay on for a few more minutes until after my next guest,
Okay.
I'm going to bring y'all back on because I want y'all to talk about how you can encourage people to focus forward, okay?
Sure thing.
All right.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much. If you will stay tuned, we will be right back. I'm going to have my next guest come up, and she's going to talk about her Pit to Purpose story and the things she's been through and how she's overcoming them and moving into a successful life. We'll be right back.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em. Full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em. Full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
right. Focused, get noticed, move forward, with Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em. Full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Focus Forward Robin Show here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network at 400 Galleria Parkway. I'm so excited to be in the room with my girl, Vitel Webb. Hey, oh my God, let me talk about you for a minute. First of all, you look so gorgeous today.
Thank you.
So beautiful. You told me you were so flashy because you're going somewhere else.
Yes,
And I'm
I'm
like, I want to go
back
with
to
you.
Okay, come on, you can.
Because
Come
you
on.
look so beautiful. I want to
Thank
just tag
you.
along. But, we have been friends on social media for a long time.
Right.
And I don't know how we even became friends.
Me either.
It could have been through maybe Instinct when you used to be a part of with Regina
That's
at
possible.
Instinct when you came on. But I saw something randomly. You popped up. And I think you were on an interview, and I listened to your story, and I was like, wow. So then I went to your page.
Right.
Then I saw you having a cookout, a family cookout.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, this girl's like me. She's so country talking, and she's just so bubbly and so happy. And I was like, I got to find out more about this woman. I got to get her on my show. So that's why I reached out to you, and I was like, I can't believe that we're friends and we've never even connected.
I know. That's
So-
how it is with the social media world. Like, you'll feel like you know somebody. It's like, have we even met in person yet?
I
But like you
know.
said earlier, I never meet a stranger either, so we're family.
Yes, I love it. And what is so cool is, Vitel, is because my last guest that was on here, he talked about how he was an entrepreneur, he's an actor, he's an author, and all these things and stuff. And y'all have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit about who you are today. Can you tell us about who you are today? Then we'll talk about how you got to where you are.
Okay, absolutely. So, yeah, like you said, I'm an actress, model, entertainer. I'm a host. I'm now a newly published author. I got my new book called I Am a Poetic Ensemble. I just do a little bit of everything. I don't really limit myself. Like, when opportunities present themselves, if I feel like, this is what I'm supposed to do at this time, then I do it. So we need to make a name for that. I'm an everything-apreneur.
I love. Hey,
There you
girl,
go.
I'm with
See,
you
I
on
just
that.
be making up words.
See, I'm the same
Sorry.
thing. I'm all over the place, and I'm like, and people say you're doing too much. You're doing this. I'm not doing enough.
Right.
I'm always pulling something out of my sleeve, something creative.
Exactly.
You know, because you know that song. There's an old country song called "Live Like You're Dying." That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to. I don't
Exactly.
want to die full of what
Yes.
gifts are inside of me. I want to empty out so I can make an impact, and that's
I've heard
what
it said the richest place in the world is the graveyard.
it is.
And that saying just really impacted me, and that's what I think about. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not taking it with me.
It's so important because, you know, that's what we're here for, to make an impact, you know, into somebody else's life. And if our story can help somebody, you know, to walk into what their purpose is, then we've done what we were supposed to do. So you actually have a story.
I do.
So let's talk a little bit about, because you haven't always been this glamorous and felt this beautiful and this joyful. Tell us a little bit about, you know, about your history.
Yeah, so I don't think we have enough time, honestly, but I'll try. I'm gonna talk really fast.
Okay.
No, I come from a history of abuse, depression, suicidal thoughts. Like you said, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through.
That's right.
I have been homeless with my kids, living in the car. I'm a mother of 3. Yeah, it's just the list goes on. I've had experience with sex trafficking. I've been kidnapped before.
Wow.
Like I can
How
go.
old were
I
you?
can keep going.
How old were you when you were kidnapped?
Around 17
Wow.
to 18.
Wow. And so you've actually been in a homeless state where you've been actually in your car as well.
I have. Yes.
Girl, you definitely don't look like what you've
Yeah,
been through.
exactly.
I mean, I've went through depression. I tried to commit suicide at age 19 because of abuse and things that I went through. But sex trafficking, how did that happen?
That's a way longer story than what I can go through on this show. But yeah, I just I write about it in my book a little bit. My book is a poetry book, but it's a memoir written in poetry format. So basically what I'm doing with the book and being on tour right now is I'm sharing a snippet or an example, for example, of what I've been through. It just kind of sums it all up.
Yeah.
But you have to really follow the journey to know the whole story. So it's like a teaser. It's a teaser trailer.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That is amazing.
I've done a lot of interviews on this tour, and each one of them, you know, they're going to have different questions and stuff. So I touch a little bit on different topics in each one. But that's one that I haven't really went too much into detail with yet,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Girl, because you could help so many people by
Yeah.
exposing, you know, exposing the back ends of how this happened and how it goes forth, you know?
I mean, that story goes pretty deep, so it's kind of difficult to, you know, discuss it right now. Not emotionally for me. Like, I'm definitely, like, overcome and healed. I've been through therapy and all of this different stuff to get to this point where I can talk about it without triggers or anything like that. But it's just, the story runs deep. There was a lot of things behind it, a lot of manipulation and things like that. And then there's a lot of people involved in my story, too, so I'm very careful not to put anyone else's story out there too soon.
Exactly,
I'll say that.
exactly. So when you said that you went through abuse, was this as a child, as a teenager, adult?
As in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
So one thing I've discovered, which a lot of people probably already knew this, is that when you are raised in a narcissistic situation, you end up becoming an adult who draws narcissists to you. So I went from, as I'm getting an amen in here,
We just got you talking about that.
You know, yes, I went from experiencing that throughout my childhood, you know, from between the abandonment issues with my father not being in the picture, and then the narcissistic issues with my mother, and not knowing, you know, anything about narcissism or what that's like, or what that is. Like, you don't realize that it's abuse sometimes when you're in it, if you're not getting beaten to death, or, you know, like if you're not bleeding, and, you know, but it's mental abuse, and you justify it. You don't realize it until you see the damage that it's caused you as an adult, and that you keep drawing that same type of person into your life, and that looks like love to you. So
how did you, Battelle, how did you break that cycle? How did you break that cycle?
I actually just broke it recently.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it was years of processing and learning and recognizing, you know, I had to go through to see the patterns, to recognize the patterns. I had to go through it a few times to say, okay, this is a pattern, and just stop doing it.
Because
like,
I believe in spirits.
Yeah.
So it's the same You know, it's a different look, a different age, a different culture,
Right.
but it's the same spirit, the
Right.
same type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And now that you mention it, like my spiritual background is really what's gotten me through all of it. No matter which one of my stories we're talking about, it was nothing but God, because I couldn't like even looking back on my own story, I'm like, how? Like, that's crazy. If I hadn't have wrote it down, taken pictures, documented stuff myself, I wouldn't even believe it, because it's so much. Like, I'm
Exactly.
literally going to make like 20 movies out of
So did
all
you
this stuff.
forget, did you go through a period where you forgot some stuff and then you brought back to your,
I
because that
did.
happened to me.
I did.
That happened to me because I remember I remember something happened, and I remembered I was out walking one day. I'd had surgery or something, and I remember busting out crying because I was hurting so bad and I could not walk the distance, and so I had to walk back to my house because I had just had surgery and the doctor told me to get out and get some exercise, and I was struggling, and I mean I was crying, I was mad because I could not make it. I was about to give up because I was about to collapse. I was hurting so bad, and I get inside, and the first thing I could think about was get a pen and paper. So I got a tablet and a pen, and I just started writing my emotions, how I felt about the walk. While I did that, I started writing out things that happened to me and that I had forgotten about.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and then I started crying more, but that was healing. Like
Yeah.
Ron had said, you know, writing things out, that's healing for you.
Right.
And I was like, I cannot believe that I totally suppressed these things
Right.
and totally let these things go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's very good to, you know, talking about and getting it out and dealing with it, you know, that does process it and bring healing,
Yeah.
you know, to you. So
Yeah, in order for me to even write the book, like I had to, because I had a lot of poems and journal entries and things that I'd written throughout the years, some from my childhood, and so I was like, you know what, I've got enough to go ahead and do a book. So I started piecing it all together. I'm like, I want to put it in chronological order, but I had to remember some of the stuff because I'm like, certain pieces are missing or aren't going to make enough sense to people.
Yes.
So I went through therapy. I haven't been through hypnosis yet. I'm still considering that, but I'm like a little bit at a time, you know, I'm giving
Okay.
myself time, but I've been through therapy, and yeah, a lot of memories have come back. And then even being able to reach out and talk to people who were a part of my story and get from their perspective and everything, like
Okay.
that's been pretty amazing to hear other people's memories and their points of view and say, oh my gosh, I remember that part, and you know, collect
So with
pictures.
that being said, how has your family adapted to you coming public with all this?
Well, hello family, if you're watching. So some of them love it, some of them hate it, some of them are in complete denial, but at the end of the day, I have to do what I'm called to do, and I had to come to grips with that. That was really honestly the hardest part of me hitting publish, is saying, okay, this is what so-and-so is going to think. This is what, you know, everybody that's a part of it is going to think. And I had to just say no, because you know what? I hate to keep going back and sounding morbid, but when I die, I'm going to be the only one in my coffin with me. You know? So, like, what are they really going to do?
Wow.
You know, I have to answer to God by myself, on my own. And
that-
so do each of them.
Thank you for sharing that.
So-
because that's such an encouragement. That's encouragement for me
Yeah.
because I deal with some of this myself.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as far as some family don't understand and things and such. And like you said, you're the only one at the end of the day that's got to face God,
Yeah.
you know, and your calling and your purpose is to make an impact, is to encourage, is to help build somebody else up so they don't have to go through this,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And I'm sure you get contacted by people inboxing saying thank you.
I was gonna
If it
say
hadn't
that.
been for you, I would,
Yeah.
because I get it. I get
That's
people say,
what
it hadn't been
helps.
for your. I had somebody the other day message me and they said, Robin, I met my son right then and there. She's and I had just made a post about something, and she said, Robin, I'm at my son's wedding. And she said, thank you for sharing that post because I'm trying to not focus on what could have been because of what happened, you know, and I'm trying to just get through this moment. But it's your
Yes.
post that's helping me survive at this moment. Because this was a great moment for her son, but it was a difficult time for her because she was with family, you know. And so it's hard for those that are not a part of what we've been through, you know, the emotions that we've gone through to understand, because they just like, oh, they're just wanting to just tell their story,
They're
and
trying to get
they're
attention
trying to
or
get
whatever.
they're just trying to make a platform for themselves. I'm so
Right.
sick of hearing that
Right.
because I'm totally one to stand behind the scenes. I didn't want
yeah,
this
me too.
platform. Matter of fact, I blame Regina Robinson for making me have this platform.
Right.
She pulled me to the forefront. I wanted to be in the background.
You need people
So-
like that in your life sometimes.
Yes.
It took some people pulling at me, and like you said,
Yes.
like if I hadn't have seen other people's post, you know, that encouraged me through those moments. Like now I'm that person, and so I needed that. Someone else's post is what saved my life. Someone else being obedient is what stopped me from committing suicide. So every time I get out and get a chance to talk, I'm like, somebody that's listening to me right now could be about to end their life.
And what is so cool today is that back in the day, I don't know about you because you're a lot younger than me, I'm sure, but back in the day when I was younger and I was married and I had went through so much stuff, you didn't talk about things that happen. You don't talk about what goes on in the home, and so you had a psychiatrist you go to, and the psychiatrist would just tell you, oh, y'all need to work it out or whatever, and so then we'd work it out, and then we didn't work it out, and so it became a big mess, and so you really didn't get to the root or deal with the issues. And so with that being said, today, there's so many advocates out here. There's so many counselors. There's so many mentors and coaches that can help you walk through the process and stuff that I didn't have back in the day. So with that being said, you're an advocate today. So you're helping the younger generation and the women of your generation today to know that it stops here. It stops now, and you're not gonna, and you're proving to the world that you can be everything. That's why I think I'm drawn to you, because I am a woman that believes you can have it all. You know, people, you might can have it all at the right time, in the right moment, but in the end of the day, you can have it all if you put your focus intact, you get yourself together, you get your healing taken care of. That's the key. If you're broken, you know, you're gonna mess up. But if you can get your healing put together, then what's gonna happen is you are going to expand your horizons. You're gonna go places, and that's exactly what you're doing. You are an amazing actress. Tell us a little bit some of the projects that you've worked on, if you can remember.
Oh gosh, so when people ask me this question, I always have to send them to the website, which is vitel.net, because I've been in over 50 movies. I've done TV commercials, runway shows. I do modeling and everything else. So I know that when I came to Atlanta, before that, I was in Kentucky, and I was having to work in like Indiana, Tennessee, and just travel everywhere in order to do films, most of them local, low budget, things like that. But I was just happy to be working. And so I really wanted to work with Tyler Perry. So that's why I moved to Atlanta, and like within 2 months, I was in like all of his stuff. So House of Pain, Meet the Browns, all of those things. And then I went to Florida to be in Charlie's Angels. And then I came back to Atlanta. I've been in Drop Dead Diva, Vampire Diaries. Those are just a few. I don't like to list them all because I can't even really remember them all, honestly. But yeah, so I've done a lot of stuff, and I stopped counting after 50.
So how did you, can you tell me, how did you get to the confidence that you are to be able to be exposed as a celebrity actress, a model, a gorgeous model, an author? How did you get to that place? You said you went through therapy, counseling, things like that, but you have to search within yourself. So tell us how did you tap into that?
Well, I just did it scared. I mean, like, honestly, surprisingly enough, I've never been, like, confident in my looks, which is kind of crazy for other people to hear. Yeah. But, you know, because of the abuse I've been through, I've always felt insecure in myself. So, yeah, but I was always secure in my talent, though. Like, I can outact anybody in this room right now. Like, I was secure in that part because I know that was a God-given gift. So I just kind of focused all my energy on that, and I just grew from there. And the more you do it, like you said earlier, like, people reach out to me, let me know how much I've inspired them. Like, that's what keeps me focused and keeps me going. When I do feel insecure or feel like giving up, I get one of those moments or somebody to push me, and I just keep going. So just keep doing it. Fake it till you make it, they say, right?
Yeah,
so,
just keep going through.
I was faking it, now I'm making it.
Just keep going through.
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Keep focusing forward. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, I'm going to have my other guests on here with me, Mr. Ron Goffrey, and we're going to talk about a little bit how we can encourage others that are maybe going through some depression or going through challenges in their life, and they need to know how they can choose to focus forward, okay?
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, right. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you
full of inspiration. Get your daily motivation.
With Robin, just get noticed. With Robin, get focused, get noticed, move forward. You know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward. You know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward.
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration. Get your daily motivation.
With Robin, get focused, get noticed, move forward. You know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward. You know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward.
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration. Get your daily motivation.
With Robin, just get noticed. With Robin.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your girl, Robin Shockley, with the Focus Forward Robin Show here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network in Atlanta, Georgia. We have had an amazing show today. I forgot to mention about my waters. Do you like this? This tastes so good. It's from the Poconos, and it's with Trap Life Red Arrow. It has my logo on here as well as my manager's logo for Insight Guru and Focus Forward Robin. If you're interested in having these waters put in your restaurants or your businesses, or actually to carry around with you to showcase as marketing material, hit your girl up. I can get you connected. I can get somebody to do the design for you. I can get somebody to order the waters for you. Contact your girl, Robin Shockley. Okay, that's enough for that marketing material right there. So now we are going to talk about some things. You guys have been pretty amazing today. First of all, thank you for being on the show. But you know what? A lot of people are going through things in secret and in silence, what you shared today. Both of you shared something very important. You talked about depression. You talked about abuse. You talked about overcoming, and you talked about living a life of purpose, okay? So I want to hear from each one of you to talk about how you can encourage people today, because so many people, the whole point of this show is so many people are going through struggles privately and alone. They feel like they have nobody, and that is the only reason why I do the Focus Forward Robin Show. It's all about pit to purpose. If you feel like you're stuck and you're going through hard times, you know what? That's why we do these shows monthly, is because we want to encourage people to know no matter what age that you are, no matter what battles you face, there is always an outlet and a resource to help you. So I would like for you, Ms. Patel, if you could share with our viewers how they can choose to focus forward into a purposeful life, whether if they want to be an actress, author, entrepreneur, speaker, advocate, whatever, how they can choose to focus forward and overcome maybe the pains that they're going through.
Absolutely. So I always say that different strokes for different folks, because something that worked for me might work for somebody else, and it might be different for another person. Mm-hmm. So I could literally go on all day with the ideas and suggestions. Yes. But just to narrow down, I would say the first thing is to just choose. First of all, like you said, choose to focus forward. Write it down if you have to. I always encourage people to get sticky notes, write encouraging messages to yourself, write your vision and make it plain, as the word says. Yes. Put it out where you can see it all the time. Keep your mindset on it all the time. I'm a firm believer in manifesting. It is biblical. People call it the secret. People call it whatever you want to call it. It don't even matter. Like, it's in the word. It works. Right. It's real. I've tried it. It does. So just do it. Right. So you just have to decide to do it. Like, that's the main thing. And then allow yourself room, for error, because we're humans. Yes. For example, when it comes to, overcoming suicide, if you have a moment where you haven't been suicidal for a long time, but all of a sudden you are again, don't feel like a complete failure. Like, know that you're making progress, and those times will get shorter and fewer in between, and you'll get there. Yes,
so. And I don't fight depression like I used to years ago, but I do fight sadness. And so you said a key point about writing things down is because I encourage people to write down note cards. Write yourself a message. Write yourself go buy yourself a card and write down a message to yourself. And then when you're having a sad day or a tough day, go pull that card out and read it and speak into yourself again. I have sticky notes all over my apartment.
whole wall is like sticky notes.
Yes,
Affirmations.
I won't let myself
affirmations.
forget.
Absolutely. So that's a very key nugget, is to make sure you write these things down. Speak life over yourselves. I do affirmations every single morning, and so it helps me cope through my day. And so that's a great encouragement that you shared. What about you, Ron? How would you encourage our viewers to focus forward and to overcome?
I agree with Vitel.
You agree?
I mean, what she said,
Yeah.
basically. But I mean, just just have a made up mind that you're going to rise above your storm. I go with the eagle. An eagle doesn't try to avoid the storm. He'll rise above and keep going, as opposed to the other birds that try to find shelter to avoid going through whatever they have to go through. So I have become an eagle, and so I'm soaring. So you can too.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So you became an eagle to soar. And so because of, I want you to tap into, because it's easier for women to open up and talk about their issues and things like that, but well, I know that there are men that are watching this, okay? And this is viewed all around the country and outside of the U.S., Australia, India, Africa, it's in other places. So there are men, they're putting on this facade of strong man, we're put together. So tap into the mental awareness and how men can choose to focus forward out of that that mindset of feeling like you've got to keep your life covered up.
Well, first off, it doesn't make you less of a man to say, hey, I need help. It doesn't make you less of a man to say, hey, I got this going on. Can we talk? It doesn't make you less of a man if you shed a tear. I always say real men cry. If you tell the truth about it, be truthful. That's your truth. If you're going through that, that's your truth. And once you speak it out, you'll find that you'll feel lighter. Because as I held it in, I felt really heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I would get so choked up, and I knew what it was. It was I needed to let it go. And until I let it go, I mean, that's how I felt. But when I let it go, I felt lighter.
My grandmother always told me, she said, crying is healing. The tears that you come out, that you're getting healed.
Right.
You might not feel like you're being healed, but that's part of that process, because you're releasing that control. Because you're trying to control your emotions, and sometimes you just need to let go of those emotions and just let it flow, and then what happens is what happens.
Exactly.
So it's so important. Guys, there are so many people out here that are willing to help you. This is why we do the Focus Forward with Robin show. It's all about helping people come from their pit to their purpose situations. If you're interested in being a part of my show, if you want me to come visit you in whatever city or state that you are, to do an interview on the go so you can tell your why story, why you do what you do. Why are you an entrepreneur? Why are you a pastor? Why are you a producer? Why are you a music rapper? Why are you all these different things? How did you get to that point? Because something encouraged you to move into that purpose, and that's the thing that people want to hear. People want to know your story. So I would love to connect with you. You can reach out to me at robinshockley.com. Tells you all about the things I do. Like I said before, I'm a PR agent. I'm an author, published author with Catching the Vision to Focus Forward. I forgot to mention my book. But Focus Forward, Catching the Vision to Focus Forward with a new Bold and Brave Life. It's a 31-day devotional for men and women. So I encourage you to go on Amazon and get that, or you can do like Ron said, you can reach out to me and I'll personally sign it and I will mail it to you. But me, if I'm in your town, I'm going to deliver it to you. And we're going to do our selfie pictures, because that's how I do it.
Wow.
So anyway, with that being said, I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to do some work with you. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear your story. And I want to know how people can get in touch with each one of you. So can you share that?
Yes, as I shared earlier, on Instagram is I am Ron Godfrey. Facebook, Ron Godfrey. My website, rongodfrey.com.
Okay.
Oh, my turn? Hey! So you can find me at vitel.net. Again, that's VITELLE.net. All the links to my social media are on that first page, and you can also subscribe there to my email newsletter so you can know what's going on with me. And by the way, you can get my book from me signed, but you only got 2 more days to do it, because I'm about to go to Hollywood, and so the book's going to be kind of set aside for a moment. So you better get your books orders in now if you want one signed from me.
All right. You heard it here. here, guys. We're all authors. We're all out here to make money, but we're all out here to make an impact. And through each one of our books, there is a story that needs to be told. And you may know somebody, or you yourself may need to hear our stories through our books. So make sure you make the connections with my guests. I'm known as the community connector all around the country, and I would love to get you connected with these two, because these two are on fire. They're doing great, amazing things, and they definitely have a story to share. If you want to reach out to them to do interviews, make sure you go to their websites and make that connection. This is your girl, Robin Jockley, with Focus Forward Robin on the Go, in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia, here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network at 400 Galleria Parkway. Remember, if you think a thing, you believe a thing. If you believe a thing, you're going to achieve it. Y'all be blessed.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.
Robin. Focused, get noticed, move forward, with Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward, you know it, Robin. Get focused, get noticed, move forward,
You can see. Watch where she take 'em, full of inspiration, get your daily motivation.